Wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. And Diddy the Devil back at it again. We got to talk about it, but before I get into it, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Happy thirsty Thursday, y'all. It is a thirsty Thursday. Make sure you drink your water. Here they go with this Facebook crap again. Let me go to Facebook and make sure the Facebook people are with us. Got a lot to talk about. Look like we may have a surprise witness in the Diddy trial. We got to get into what Cassie was talking about and what was going on. And man, and y'all, but before I even get into all of that, what? I didn't know we had so many assholes. I mean, I knew we had some assholes, but I didn't know we had so many assholes in the world. We got to talk about that too. As I try to get Facebook loaded up, these apps, I mean, they need to get their stuff together, because they messing up my flow with all this extraness with these every time you look around, it's something messed up going on with the app. But I am very disappointed in society right now, and the stuff I'm seeing with this Cassie situation, what people are saying in the comments, and it's male and females. It's just ridiculous. Like, and it definitely needs to be addressed. This is giving me a hard time, y'all. Give me 1 second. What the hell is going on? I'm sick of this. Come on, Facebook. Why are you acting stupid today? Y'all, give me 1 second. I don't know what the heck going on, but we got to get into it today. Make sure you like in the live while I'm over here messing with this. Please like the live and share it. We about to get into it really quickly. But I am not a happy camper right now. I'm sure y'all been seeing what's going on in the comments with with people actually not even just defending Diddy, but they are also tearing down and got so many stupid questions about Cassie. It's like literally insane. And before I get into recapping her and talking about the surprise witness that we got going on, we got to get into that a little bit. This is, I don't know what the hell going on, y'all, with Facebook today. But it's getting on my nerves. As a matter of fact, I might not be able to have Facebook. No, I'm gonna get Facebook on. Forget it. Hold up. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna get this together. What is going on? What is going on, Facebook? What are you doing? They ain't gonna stop. They not about to stop our flow. They better stop it. They know flow unstoppable. Boom, there we go. Fine. No, I can't leave our Facebook family behind. It take a little time, it take it to a little time. Y'all know I take my time and do it right. Good morning, everybody. Before we even get into the recap, I gotta address this bullshit that's going on with these ignorant people in the comments. And it's people saying shit like, why didn't she could have just left? Excuse me, asshole. Diddy was blowing up cars and bashing heads in. Not to mention all the mysterious murders behind people who did try to stand up and leave, who knew too much information. Not to mention he had tapes that he was going to blackmail this 20-year-old woman who came to try to sing, have a career in singing, and she had tapes of her doing crazy stuff and threatened to put them out. So I don't know if your brain is capable of like grasping all of that, but that's why she couldn't just fucking leave. Secondly, another stupid comment I'm seeing a lot of. What? This isn't sex. I don't see any sex trafficking. If you don't know the definition of sex trafficking, just say that and we'll educate you. Sex trafficking involves commercial sex acts in exchange for money or goods, and the person who is involved in this sex act is either being forced, tricked, or threatened into doing it. Now, that's all we've been fucking hearing in Cassie's testimony. So what the hell do you mean you don't see sex trafficking? I have never been more ashamed, and I'm not even going to speak for the men. I'm not even going to speak for the women I see even been saying this stupid crap. But I've never been more ashamed of men in my life. And I take pride in straightening all their ass out in the comments. Because I'm a bad man and I can go 1v100 and cook all their ass 5 at a time like a wing dinner with sauce. I don't play with y'all. I'm the big dog hiding behind those fake. But it just drives me up a wall because I imagine that would, like, if that was my sister up there. And you got people in the comments saying this ignorant shit. And so I had to address that before I even got started because it's literally unbelievable. But what I will tell you is we can't change a fool. Granny used to always tell me you can't change a fool, but what you can do is know how to treat a fool. And all y'all and all of us need to wrap our arms around our daughters because at least thank this trial to show us that it's a lot of ignorant assholes out here and we need to be on high alert. Now, if you want to defend Diddy, that's your right, but defend him with some fucking shit that makes sense, not blanket ass statements that show that you don't know shit. And heed the warning, because if you fuck around with one of mine, you're gonna have problems way before the courts get involved. So now that I got that out the way, let me calm the fuck down. Cause I ain't trying to come and be on 100 the whole fucking episode. We gonna have to talk about some stuff. We got some important stuff to go over. I just had to cook their ass real quick. The kitchen always open on Thursday, Flo's Kitchen. And if y'all see me in the comments, I'll be cooking their ass left and right. And I love y'all because y'all be cooking them too. Some of y'all comebacks be so good, I think I wrote it. I'll be like, damn, that's some shit I would say. So shout out to y'all that be in the comments handling the light work too. Talking about she could have just left. Do you tell her? Obviously, with some mental health going on, obviously some intimidation going on. Do you tell an alcoholic to just put the bottle down? Dumbass. If it was that simple, wouldn't nobody have a problem? Do you tell a gambling addict to just don't gamble? Sometimes I think y'all don't Y'all don't have a brain, or y'all don't use y'all brain. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. But if and not to disrespect anybody overweight, but you know, obesity can be a problem. Won't you just tell them to stop eating? Do y'all think it's that simple? I even had somebody say they haven't proved they haven't proved Rico. I don't want to be the one to tell you, but it's only fucking day 3. It's about 50, 60 or more witnesses. Do you think all of them gonna be on the stand in one fucking day? Relax. Let the trial play out before you make all these blanket ass, stupid ass statements, and then you end up getting cooked in my comments and running about your merry way. Because like I said, I cook them 5 at a time, like a wing dinner with sauce. So let's go. All right, let's get into the real stuff now. I just had to spend about 8 minutes serving they stupid asses one time. For everybody in the back, thank you for joining. Matter of fact, thank everybody, the breakfast crew. Shout out to y'all. Y'all always with me. 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. We here every day. Shout out to my Apple and Spotify family. Y'all the greatest. My Diddy VIP coverage family. Y'all growing, and I'm gonna shout y'all out. Shout out to my YouTube members, my Facebook members, my Instagram family, my TikTok family, all of y'all. We in this together. But don't worry. I know y'all be pissed off at them in the comments and this and that, but y'all know I got their ass. I look forward to cooking their ass. So y'all, we might have a surprise witness in this situation. Before I get into Cassie's recapping her testimony, let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about this surprise witness that maybe he's taking a stand. I'm hearing rumors, and if I'm reading my tea leaves right, he almost has to take the stand. Now, who the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about Jonathan Adi. Remember we discussed him. You know, we so fucking ahead of the mainstream media. They just now covering Jonathan Adi. We've been talking about Adi for months and months and months. As a matter of fact, even as recently as last week, we did a whole damn episode about Jonathan Adi. Let me catch y'all up. Jonathan Adi is the man who admitted to being a sex slave for Diddy and Cassie. He performed acts on Cassie. He had a crazy episode where he was in a Trump golf club or something, and him had a shootout with the cops. Anyway, when they took him in for interrogation, he started talking about something that had nothing to do with the Trump stuff. He started talking about how Diddy paid him to be a sex slave, and he knew a lot of information because Diddy would be on the phone, and he detailed everything Cassie detailed before Cassie even detailed it. He talked about this back in 2018, and everybody said he was crazy. What did he say back in 2018? He said Diddy would pay him for sex acts, and he would perform sex on Cassie as Diddy laid in the corner. I mean, in the corner watching as he pleasured himself. Oh, and a matter of fact, we got another lawsuit that Diddy came. We're gonna talk about at the end. It's another crazy lawsuit. But anyway, he talked about that Diddy would pleasure himself as he watched him perform sex on Cassie. And he even talked about the liquid baby oil and the liquid cocaine, all type of stuff. Well, does that sound familiar? It sounds familiar because it's exactly what Cassie said went on in these freak-offs. So Jonathan Adi talked about this in 2018. Jonathan Adi, I believe Diddy passed herpes to him. And Jonathan Adi said he talked about a meeting he had with Diddy. I think I will get into it. I'm gonna play the clip. But he had a meeting with Diddy, and he explained to Diddy that he knew he had a lot of information, and he said he did this so that Diddy wouldn't harm him. He told Diddy he had information on the hard drive that if anything happened to him, it will be put out. He said when he met with Diddy, Diddy had two men in ski masks that were pointing finger guns at him while they were talking. He said Diddy was always trying to intimidate somebody. Long story short, thank you for the $4.99 super chat, Nadreema. Long story short, they ended up doing a non-disclosure agreement. We put it out for the world. You see Diddy's signature, and it was a $5 million agreement. So Jonathan Oddie got $5 million. Imagine, and he got this back in like 2014. Imagine, thank you for the other $4.99 super sticker, Nadreema. Imagine if and what type of information this guy had if back in 2014, Diddy paid him $5 million for the information not to come out. Now, it nearly floored me when I heard Cassie bring up Jonathan Oddie's name. She corroborated what he said. And when names like that get brought up in court, you can bet your bottom dollar they are going to testify. And they will be testifying. So, Jonathan Oddie went on News Nation. And shout out to Cassie for being able to do this as being 8 months pregnant. And like I told people, I believe they even put Cassie first because she's 8 months pregnant. And they didn't want her while they're waiting to get to her to go into labor. So by her being, I'm pretty sure they said 8 months pregnant. I believe that's the reason why they had her, so early in the case. And anyway, Jonathan Oddie was on News Nation. Remember, I was telling you we hadn't heard from him. He was missing court dates, and we thought he may be in witness protection or something. So it's good to hear from him. And he was on News Nation. The audio is a little low, but I'm still gonna play it for you, just so you can hear his words. I'll explain what he said after I play it. For those that may not be able to hear, I'm gonna turn my mic up a little bit as well. But yeah, this was, and actually I encourage you to, if you haven't watched it, go to News Nation tonight or later on or whenever you have time and check this out. He brought some more details to the forefront. So this is Jonathan Oddie on News Nation.
Jonathan Oddie opened fire at Donald Trump's Miami golf course and was shot and arrested by police. Oddie said that he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. That's where it gets interesting. Later, while being questioned by Florida authorities, Oddie brought up something totally unexpected. He claimed that he'd been a sex slave for Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. This video is courtesy of Real World Media. Take a look. Cassie and Sean, basically, he would masturbate upward to Cassie. I think heard a lot of this. What they would do is Sean also got on the phone and on the TV was doing this stuff, and I'll be in the house like a sex slave. So at the time, Oddie's story seemed too far-fetched to believe.
So
anymore. And now in an exclusive interview, Oddie opens.
So now he opens up and he tells more information. Now, what they just played right there was what we talked about. Already. Okay, so what he's talking about is he said he's coming forward because he had a feeling when everything was going on, when he had 15 sessions with it, and he said even at that time he had a feeling that Cassie was in a situation that she needed help, but he said he wasn't quite sure. He said he could tell she was a decent, kind-hearted person, And he just didn't know for sure though, but he said in the back of his mind, he could tell that she was in a serious situation that she needed help. And this is why he's coming out and speaking now. And he also said when the tape of Diddy putting his hands on her came out, that also showed him exactly what type of man Diddy was and is. And he already knew that. Like I said, he had his own instance of intimidation that Diddy tried to intimidate him. So, and then he also goes on to talk about what went on behind the scenes. And he, like I said, he even had to go as far as to record stuff on his little hard. He had a little sneaky spy hard drive. It was like a little sneaky camera, and he would put that on the table. He would put that on the table so he could record what's going on to protect himself, so that so he could let Diddy know, like, I have information just in case you try to harm me. And the way it all came about, he was a Chippendale, and Diddy called him to come perform. He thought just perform, like regular performance, dancing. Y'all know the little Chippendale shit. So he thought that's what it was. And then they ended up asking him and propositioning him for commercial sex. And then they went on to, he said, to have about 15 sessions from there. But not only that, y'all, he started talking about Diddy being in secret groups, other rappers and entertainers who were down with this freaky, kinky stuff. Rick Ross being one name, DJ Khaled being another name. He described the atmosphere as candles off. Candles off, lights off, candles burning. And just like Cassie said, he said he would give instructions to him of what to do to Cassie. And it was always about rubbing baby oil and oral sex and all of the same things that Cassie said. Ladies and gentlemen of the Flow Show No Filter, be prepared to watch him take the stand. And when he takes the stand, this will be explosive. This will be explosive because this guy is kind of aggressive too. And he's an intelligent man. Like, if you listen to his interrogation, he's smart. Like, he's not just some dummy, just blah 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 blah. Kind of like them people them guys in the comments that we see saying stupid shit. He's actually speaks with intelligence, whether you agree with him or not. And so I already know, not only is it going to be explosive when the prosecution questions him and examines him or whatever, but if he takes the stand, mark my words, when the defense tries to cross him, and I'm sure it'll be Brian Steele, because I'm sure they'll use a man for a man, they are going to go at it. I'm telling y'all right now, if he takes the stand and when the defense cross-examine him, it's going to be fireworks. Like I said, he has been speaking on this since 2018. The Cassie lawsuit didn't come into play till 2023. We talking about 5 years. And so just had to give y'all that news. I strongly believe, and there's been rumors, and I believe Tisa Tells, a big YouTuber that's been covering all of this stuff in detail for a long time as well. And she's normally spot on with her information. I believe she was one of the first people to say that Jonathan Odie or Odie, whatever his name is, will be testifying. So look out for that. More names that came into play. We're going to get into Cassie's testimony, but more names came into play. Not just, we've all heard about the Kid Cudi situation, him blowing up cars, Diddy's threatening. We got text messages for all the people talking about why she just couldn't leave Diddy was blowing up cars and threatening people's lives and keeping them held hostage in a sense by financially keeping them needing him. She was an artist, but she didn't have her own money. She said herself she never got a dime from actual music. The only money she could make was doing hosting parties and guest appearances like that. And even those were few and far between because they had to be approved by Diddler. So we heard another name that maybe you guys didn't know, and I knew about this story, but I'm glad that the truth is coming out. If y'all remember that Diddy that swung on Drake and punched Drake or whatever. Well, not only that, Diddy had put let's say a semi hit out on Drake allegedly in LA. The Game even talked about it on the rapper The Game. He even talked about it on Vlad. He said that Drake and Diddy got into it about something that happened in Miami. He didn't mention that it had something to do with Cassie. We just learned about it having to do with Cassie through Cassie's testimony when she said Diddy was mad. Diddy was mad because she was going to a OVO festival, and Diddy, just like he's done in many different times, threatened not only Cassie, but he threatened Drake and The Game had to tell Drake that he would cover for him and that he had his back and all type of. Well, you can let him hear. He spoke about that Diddy. So Drake, he had to protect him. And I don't know if y'all remember the video, but it was like that video with Drake in The Game. Something about what is it? 100. It's called 100 or something. Y'all better not go to my funeral with that fake shit. That video when Game and Drake got together, that all came about because Diddy was putting and threatening harm on Cassie and Drake, much like he did with Cassie and Kid Cudi. Every time she tried to go somewhere, Diddy would threaten with violence and threat to put out that tape. So again, to everybody talking shit sitting on their couch, it's not as easy as just leaving when you're dealing with a lunatic. Hopefully your daughter or your mother or anyone in your family never ever deals with a lunatic, because then you'll understand. Also, the craziest story, and I posted about it on my TikTok, on all my social medias accounts, but it was a situation where Cassie was getting ready to trying to leave him. Like, I mean, she broke up with him. She finally got the strength. It was 2018, and she finally got the strength. So this is my post, and if you don't follow me on social media, you need to, because you can get updates, even more updates. But this is the story she told, and I'll elaborate after you hear this. What if I told you what Diddy did to Cassie in 2018 after she broke up with her? Officially made him Diddy the devil. And I'm explaining to you what Diddy did. But just know that it was so fucked up that she tried to take her whole life and he saved her. She's now husband, Alex Fine. I can't believe he had to sit and watch this happen to his wife. She finished her testimony today, and she talked about in 2018, years of alleged abuse, she was finally meeting Diddy to call the whole thing out and break up. So after being with Diddy since the age team for over a decade. She wanted to meet for closure. So she decided to meet Diddy at a restaurant. Now, to her surprise, at this meeting at Malibu, Diddy was being surprisingly playful, laughing, having a great time. But she said everything changed after Diddy took her home. What did Diddy do? He took Cassie home, followed her into her home, and raped her on her living room floor. She says all she can remember is saying no and crying her eyes out. And she said Diddy wasn't paying her any attention. And she said it was really fast. She chillingly described his eyes as black. He was possessed. She wouldn't stop. And when he finally stopped, he finished inside of her and just got and walked out of her house like nothing even happened. She said his eyes were jet black. This is where her husband Alex Fine comes in. Now, 2018, she is finally has got the strength to move on. He does his usual Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, laughing and joking. They meeting at the Malibu restaurant. She's thinking like, wow, he's taking this good. Diddy drives her home, goes into her home, and just takes it from her. And he gets up and walks out. She said not only the memories of all the freak offs, but after she moved on, she said there was a time when she tried to walk and run or go out in traffic and unalive her own self. And she was saved by her husband, Alex Fine. And you got people defending this monster. You got people defending somebody who has forever changed Cassie's life until she's not here anymore. She will never forget freak offs. She will never get those images out of her head. And he started all this when she was 19 years old, 20 years old. Can y'all imagine what type of monster takes a 19, 20-year-old and throws him into this? How would Diddy's daughters, bless their heart for even having to watch this sick son of a bitch on go through this fucking trial. But Diddy's daughters are literally less than 1 year younger than Cassie was when all of this started. For all those that say ain't nothing wrong with it, I wonder with Diddy, how he would feel if somebody took his two daughters and did this to them for 10 plus years and threatened them and manipulated them and intimidated them. Also, to the people saying you don't see anything wrong, will you be sending your 19-year-old daughter with Diddy out of the country or wherever they want to go anytime soon? I didn't think so. So before you open that trap of yours, I would encourage you to try to put your funky ass feet in them shoes and really put yourself in that position and understand how you would feel if that was your child, your daughter, your sister, your mother, your whatever. She literally gave so much oral that she got fucking sores in her mouth to this day. And another thing I want to address, the assholes talking about y'all bringing down a black man. Are you serious? So by me and people like me and everybody else that's covering the case and trying to support a witness who's black, many of these witnesses are black. We bringing down black, we tearing down black, but what the fuck is Diddy doing then? If we tearing down black people by covering a case, this horrific case, and amplifying voices of victims, then what the hell do you call what Diddy doing then? That's my only question. And nobody has been able to answer that yet. Because Flo don't give a damn if you're black, brown, green, purple, fuchsia. If you put a female or a male in a freak off blender, fuck you. Plain as day. I'm hearing so many ignorant ass comments. It lets me know why I only deal with my Flow Show No Filter community, my content creating world, my son, and my close ones. Because I can't fuck with these people out here, y'all. It's too many of them. How can you sit up here and watch a woman say she couldn't even celebrate her 29th birthday? She gets ripped away from her party, her 29th birthday, because she got to go perform a freak off, or she don't, that's her ass. And you watching this same guy in 2000 whatever year beat the hell out of her on camera in 4K for the whole world to see. But we tearing down black men. So according to you, the only people who have rights in this world are rich, famous people. And as long as you're rich and famous, you can throw people in a freak off blender. Well, if you come to me with it, you know my saying, you can kick rocks in flip flops with no socks. Fuck out of here. I have no respect. Everything I'm saying to these ignorant asses in the comments is with all disrespect. And I know the real saying is with all due respect, but when I'm talking to these assholes, this is with all disrespect. The only thing that makes me upset is that y'all would never say this in person. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I would love to have this debate face to face with one of you assholes. But y'all cowards, so y'all would never do that. When I see you, all you're going to want to do is take a picture and smile and look goofy. And I'm going to smile right with your goofy ass, take a selfie and say, hey, thanks for support. That's what y'all do in person. But in the comments, y'all turn into King Tut. In the comments, y'all Incredible Hulk. Hiding behind these fake ass pages. Make me sick. I can't even cook y'all as good as my granny would. It's times like this when I miss my granny, because I could sit at the kitchen table and she would rip them assholes a new one, and only the way she could, and I would love it. I really miss my granny in times like this, because she would, you think I'm cooking them. My granny would 100 times better than me. I can't find the words that she could find, but they are a mess. They are a mess, but we ain't even gonna focus on them. Let's get back to the case. You know, every now and then I had to vent. What else did we cover in the Cassie? It's so much. She detailed the violent, controlling relationship. She went more into that. She talked about the Kid Cudi incident happened in 2011 and Diddy blowing up the car. She literally found a guy. Like, if Diddy would have stayed out the way, her and Kid Cudi, I'm not gonna say they would have lasted forever, because who knows, you know, relationships, you know, you can't You can't say one gonna last or not. But they were cool. And I know Cuddy is being a good stand-up young man. So what did he do? He threatened violence on Cassie. He threatened violence on Kid Cudi, and he had his car blown up. So if you've ever tried to leave somebody, have they ever blew your boyfriend's or your other friend's car up? Have they ever threatened to kill everybody involved? Probably not. So you probably wouldn't understand why she couldn't just leave. Asshole. But for the most part, it was a powerful testimony. And today, y'all, she is going to get cross-examined. So as much as these ignorant people is pissing us off, be prepared to have that times 10. Because now they're going to get to hear the defense cross-examine Cassie. And you know they're going to be aggressive. You know they're going to be, thank you, Steph, for the super sticker for $4.99. I'm going to eat good today. You know they're going to be ultra aggressive. You know they're going to say a lot and they're going to try to poke holes. And that's all these little Mohawk Diddies running around saying this craziness. That's all they need. So I need y'all to be, I need Cassie to be prepared because it's going to be tough, y'all. And that's what they're starting off today. Matter of fact, probably at the close of this show, she going to be on that stand. And this is about to be a cross-examination for your ass. And I'm warning y'all now, we all about to be a little pissed off because I'm at a loss for words. I even had to straighten out one of my friends behind this shit. He called me saying, man, this ain't no I said, I had to break it down to him. He was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, motherfucker, quit going. Listen, this ain't the barber shop. This is the court of law. This ain't the beauty shop. Read. If you can't read, Google it or go to YouTube. They'll speak it to you. You ain't even got to be able to read to get this information. Educate yourself. And then if you want to defend Diddy, do it with some education, not with dumbass blatant statements like she was with him for 10 years. Most trafficking victims are with their perpetrators or predators or whatever you want to call them. Most of them are with them for a long time. Surf YouTube a little bit. See the many stories and see the thing about me and what helps me cover this stuff and actually know what the hell be going on is because I've been covering missing kids, trafficked women, trafficked kids. I've been covering these stories for years now. So I've seen them all. I've seen kids and women who've been trafficked by their guardians for the age of 12 and all the way up until they're grown, and then they're grown and they're still there. And people, you could say the same thing. Why don't they just leave? Because there's a mental illness that attaches to this manipulation. Because there's a thing called Stockholm Syndrome. It is also a thing called education. Take advantage of it. So you don't be saying this shit out loud and have the whole world looking at you like, damn, is you a rapist in the making? Will you be the next one sitting next to Diddy's dumbass? And I don't have no more sympathy. So I've been trying to be a little neutral, even though y'all know I believe Diddy guilty. But the more and more I hear, the less sympathy, or I don't even want to call it sympathy, the less I give a fuck about saying exactly what the hell I feel about Diddy, because this is ridiculous. And for those that might say, well, what is Stockholm Syndrome? Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological response where a person who is being abused, threatened, or held captive develops feelings of trust, affection, or even loyalty towards their abuser or captor, sometimes even defending them. So to those that say, why did she be there for 10 years? That's why, amongst other reasons. So we got Stockholm Syndrome. We got motherfuckers blowing up cars left and right. We got half the women Diddy ever dealt with either came up dead or fucked up. Pick one. Pick one. And then we talking about Cassie, but let's talk about the millions and thousands of victims that got to also read y'all dumbass statements and comments. Why did she just leave? And you sitting around smoking cigarettes by the 10 packs a day, and you can't quit. And let a motherfucker tell you, why don't you just put the cigarette down? Oh yeah, y'all. Flo's Kitchen is open on Thursdays if y'all didn't know. But the one thing I like about it is nobody likes to get their ass handed to them in public. So normally after one or two replies, they get the hell out of my comment section because they realize they dealing with somebody who knows what the hell they talking about. I'm not just up here yapping. I researched the shit out of this. You know why? Because I try to understand. Because there was a time when I didn't understand why they didn't just leave. But you know what I did? I researched it and tried to figure it the fuck out. I wasn't in the comment section saying dumb shit. Because we all have weaknesses. Just because you can just leave don't mean they can just leave. I could be drinking one day, I could have a drink, and then I could just decide, you know what, I ain't drinking no more. And I could do that for however long. I could hit me some Snoop Dogg one day, and then I could say, you know what, I don't want to hit Snoop Dogg no more. And don't hit Snoop Dogg for 5 years. I can do that. But I'm not going to look at somebody who can't do that and just say, why don't you put the drink down? Why don't you put it? We are all different. And the same finger you point at them or why they can't do something, we could point our fingers at you and say why you can't do this, and that. So I enjoy my role of educating these fools. Because like my granny used to say, y'all stuck on stupid. But I'm going to educate you fools. And it's my pleasure. No woman should ever have to go through no shit like this. There are laws in place for a reason. Another thing I'm hearing people say, this is normal. This is what people do all the time. And my boy, I know somebody pay for this, pay for. It's laws for a reason, motherfucker. Just because you can get somebody to do something, don't mean it ain't illegal. So be careful how you tread there. We all have instances where we've had people who loved us to death, loved my dirty drawers. I have plenty of women in my lifetime that loved me and were so caring. They would do whatever the hell I asked them. But if I asked them to do the wrong shit, it could turn into some illegal shit and your ass could be in trouble. Laws are in place to balance this shit, y'all. You can't, just because you got $100 million don't mean you can just have sex slaves. That's why we have laws. You know why? Because some people are born with mental illnesses. Some people are desperate to be taken care of, whatever. There are a zillion reasons why. But so that we're not running around with a bunch of billionaires having sex slaves and all type of shit, we got these things called laws. Laws are here for a reason. I repeat, just because you can get someone to do something and in your rabbit ass mind, it is they did it on their own. Don't make it legal. I need y'all to understand that for your ass be sitting next to Mohawk Diddy ass. Laws are in place for a reason to protect people. Because if we didn't have these laws, can you imagine how many Diddies we would actually have? If you could just take your money and your power and manipulate, influence, threaten, blackmail, and take your hundreds of millions and do whatever you wanted with people, and you could hide behind the fact of they doing it on their own. Do you know how many slaves, not just sexually, many different types of slaves and how many people we would be having fucked up out here? Like I always say, I'm here to bring information to people. If you want to defend Diddy, go head on. I'm happy to have that debate. I don't think, as fucked up as Diddy is, I don't sit here and think nobody has the right to defend him. Even his children, even his friends, true friends, they might still defend him. I don't have a problem with that, but defend him with some educated responses. Not shit like she was there for 10 years. It don't matter if she was there for 200 years. If somewhere in that 200 years, she said she didn't want to do a freak off, a paid commercial act, sex traffic with some dancer, and you made her do it, your ass gonna be hearing from the feds. And when you do it from state to state, that's what makes it feds. Oh, well, they say, well, she paid him, not Diddy, or she said she wanted to get urinated on, not Diddy. Well, then that's what RICO is, ladies, boys and girls. See, a RICO don't give a fuck who actually paid, literally. A RICO cares about where the hell did this money come from. A RICO don't necessarily give a damn about who literally gave the order. A RICO want to know where the hell did that orders come from. So even if it's one ignorant bastard who is saying stupid stuff, even if it's one that listens to this podcast and wakes the hell up, that'll make me happy. I just need one person to say, you know what? I didn't think of it like that. And realize how stupid you sound when you in the comments saying this and that and all of this craziness that is just got me in a tizzy this morning. You know, I don't even like that. I'm trying to, I'm trying to keep it calm and cool for this Thirsty Thursday. I ain't drink my water. They throwing off the whole damn show. Take a swig and get back to the gig. So, what else we got here? Let's go into the 29th birthday. I brought that up. Let me give you some more context. Let's go into an article. I ain't even went into an article yet, y'all. This is from the New York Post. Let's give another example of Diddy the Devil. Says here, Diddy ruined Cassie Venture's 29th birthday party by repeatedly pressuring her into a freak-off. Diddy needed help, y'all. He didn't need people defending him. He needed help. And I ain't making excuses for it, but what I'm saying is he needed serious help. And I'm talking about back when he's probably in his teens, he needed help. So it says that Sean Diddy Combs ruined Cassie's 29th birthday celebration by repeatedly asking her to come to do a freak-off. Cassie said on the stand, I told him I wanted to stay out and celebrate with my friends. In my mind, I didn't want to have the burden of doing all that night. Now, the couple had gone to the Blind Dragon Club in West Hollywood for karaoke with her friends, but Combs pulled me out of the festivities so many times that I just gave up. She said they left and went to have a freak off, one of the disgraced hip hop moguls' notorious drug fueled sex parties that would sometimes last for days. Cassie described the encounters in graphic detail. In Manhattan, federal court on Tuesday, saying Combs would often hire male prostitutes for her to have sex with while he watched. In one such humiliating encounter, she recalled a male escort, as we heard, urinated in her mouth. Can't even celebrate your birthday. Can't even celebrate your birthday. He's so worried and so thirsty for freak offs. He just ripping her away from her friends every time she look around, and then she just has to just give in. And to think that this guy has daughters. To think that Diddy actually has daughters. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yesterday, things got so hard to bear. Alex Fine, Cassie's husband, he even had to leave the courtroom. There was a moment he had to leave the courtroom. I ain't never seen, I done covered a million stories, y'all. Y'all know me, especially my day ones. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've covered damn near every story that ever happened in the last 2-3 years that was worth noting. I ain't never seen nothing to this level. But like I said, another thing was confirmed. Just to give you some more information, she confirmed that settlement was $20 million that Diddy gave her. It was $20 million settlement that she got within 24, 48 hours. And that leads me to another stupid thing that I've been seeing people say. Well, how is she talking on the stand if he paid her off? This is also easy to Google too. It'll take you like 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. But just so you know, when things become criminal, settlements are thrown out the freaking window. So the moment that the feds got involved in what Diddy has been doing over these past decades, once it became criminal, it don't matter if Diddy gave her $350 billion. It's over with. So another thing that people are saying that has no basis in fact, which is just sounds so I cringe when I hear him say it, because it's like you how old are you? Do you not know? Do you not have Google on your phone where you could at least try to, like, it's like these people don't even seek knowledge. That's how you know it's just because they're miserable, and it's almost like they just want to shit on Cassie, for lack of a better word, because you can easily Google this stuff. I'm not no rocket science. This ain't rocket science. All I'm doing is, if I have a question, I look it up. Should I come from the I'm old. I come from the era where you had a question like that, you had to pull out the encyclopedias. I had to go to Granny house. I had to go to Granny house and go through alphabetical order, pull out the encyclopedia. That shit took hours to find out an answer. Now you can just Pick up your phone that you already have glued to your freaking hand and type a few letters, and everything you ever want to know is right there. But y'all don't do that. Y'all just run, sprint, toboggan straight to the damn comments and saying the stupidest things out loud. I'm just glad I ain't associated with none of y'all. I'm just glad my son speaks with sense. His mother speaks with sense. All my family speak with sense. Everybody in this community, the Flow Show No Filter community, all speak with sense. So I'm glad that everybody I care about, we speak with sense. I don't know these ignorant people that we're seeing in these comments and saying this stuff out loud, and I'm glad I don't know them. But I'll still try to do my part to educate. And now, what would a Diddy week be without a lawsuit? Somebody else has been allegedly a victim of this madness. And this one is a bit silly, but I'm gonna cover it anyway because it's an actual real lawsuit and this person could have been really harmed. The title, this comes from TMZ. This is another fresh lawsuit. Breaking news yesterday at 4:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Headline reads, Diddy sued, graped me with a Tootsie Roll sized penis. Article says Diddy graped a woman at his Manhattan apartment, but the woman said she was actually relieved when he whipped out his ping ping because she knew it wouldn't hurt that much due to the lack of length and girth. At least that's according to the lawsuit. The Bad Boy Records founder with the itty bitty Diddy ping is being sued by Jane Doe, who claims they met in May 2001. This is the Mohawk Diddy era. This is Mohawk Diddy that did this with the itty bitty Diddy, she called it. She says they hung out a few times without incident at his Manhattan recording studio, nightclubs, and a restaurant, but things went south in July 2001 on their fourth meeting. She claims after a night out at the club, Diddy took her back to his apartment, leading her to his bedroom, where he locked the door and pushed her down. He pushed her down onto the bed, onto her back, placing his hand around her throat and telling her, I'm going to suck the life out of you. Now, the woman claims Diddy released his grip on her neck, then held her arm down, using his other hand to unbuckle his belt and pants before pulling out his erect, bare-skin, itty-bitty Diddy, which appeared to be the length and girth of a Tootsie Roll. Now, thanks to this lawsuit, I will never look at a Tootsie Roll again. And why the hell I gotta, when I see a Tootsie Roll, because I like Tootsie Rolls. Now, when I see a Tootsie Roll, I gotta think about Diddy. This trial is scarring all of us for life, but it's a good scar because we are getting holding holding people accountable and amplifying voices of victims. But y'all, I'm scarred. Now I can't even look at Tootsie Rolls and saying I'm gonna see a Tootsie Roll. I'm saying, dang, that's like she said that's like Diddy's itty bitty Diddy. So anyway, in her suit, she recalls feeling relieved by the size of Diddy's Diddy, claiming she knew it wouldn't hurt because it was itty bitty. The woman claims she screamed for Diddy to get off of her and stop and hold him. She didn't want to have sex with him, but she says he overpowered her and did not stop penetrating her until he was done. She claims he pulled out and let off the little pea shooter onto her, and then he backed away. She backed away from her, and then she went to the bathroom to wipe herself off. The woman claims when she exited the bathroom, hold up. I didn't click the button. My fault. She claims that she went to the bathroom and Diddy was naked on the bed and she ran for the door and unlocked it. She says a bodyguard was standing outside the room and she asked him where the exit was and he gestured downstairs. She says she left the place and Diddy drove her and her friend home. She claims Diddy called her a few times after the alleged rape and even invited her to one of his white parties, but she said she did not respond to his calls. The alleged rape, the woman claims she found it hard to be vulnerable and alone with men now and has withdrawn and become a shell of herself. She also claims she needed psychotherapy to confront and address the trauma and move on. She said she suffered physical abuse, emotional abuse, trauma, injury, and psychological damage as a result of Diddy's actions. The woman is going after Diddy for damages. They reached out to Diddy for his comment, but apparently he's busy frying bigger fish. And now every time you see a Tootsie Roll, you will be thinking about Diddy's itty bitty committee downstairs. Well, there's that. Shout out to this alleged victim. If she's a victim, hopefully you'll get justice. And on that note, I want to thank everybody who makes this podcast that we all enjoy. As much as y'all always tell me, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it just as much as y'all love it. I love to come and give y'all my candid opinion, intake, and education. I call it edutainment because I try to educate and I try to entertain. I don't want it to be boring. I don't want to put nobody to sleep. So I try to mix in some little humor there here and there, and y'all appreciate it, and so do I. So let me thank y'all. Oh, and just to let y'all know, for the VIP members and give y'all my schedule, what's going on, I am aiming for the last week of this month. If y'all know, my son turns 18 on May 23rd. And so I got to, kick it with him or my ass will be grass. So I'll be there in Cleveland kicking it with my son. But right after that, maybe anywhere between the 24th and 29th, I'm going to be shooting out to New York. And all of my VIP Diddy trial people will be right along with me with the exclusive lives. And y'all going to be able to keep an eye on me and make sure nothing happened to me. But I will be going out to New York on the courthouse. And all these people, I think somebody brought up Secret Sam, all these little influencers that might, I've been saying some stuff that maybe might not been like stuff we want to hear. I hope I can run into them. No drama. I just like to debate in person. I do very respectfully, but I do want to hope I can run into a lot of people and we can. Also, at that same time, if I can squeeze in the explosive interview with Mark Curry, me and Mark Curry have been talking almost every day now. If you don't know, Mark Curry is the rapper who was on Bad Boy, the original whistleblower. He was there. He saw and witnessed all of this type of stuff. He knows about Diddy broke Kim Porter's nose. He knows all the stories, man. Talking to Mark is like been just a blessing as far as finding out information. He has already told me stuff that if I was to put it out now, it would break the internet. So all my VIP Diddy members, y'all will have exclusive real-time streaming. I'm going to stream it live for y'all as when I go visit Mark Curry and do his interview. I'm going to stream everything for y'all so y'all can see the prep, hear all the candid conversation, all of that. I really appreciate y'all been coming through with the $23 subscriptions, which is really helping me. I mean, y'all know New York and traveling is very expensive, so I'm going to have to still put a lot of my own money with it, but I don't mind. This is what I love to do. I just appreciate that y'all are willing to put y'all part in and help me go on this journey. So let me shout all of my subscribers, and I don't want to leave out my regular subscribers. You will get exclusive content as well. It just will be after the Diddy VIP people, meaning like they're going to get the real-time live stuff. And then I'm going to chop that up and make exclusive content. So even if you did a $3 subscription, you will get extra content that the non-paying people won't get. So I just wanted to make that clear. So everybody, y'all know my saying, I don't leave anybody out. And even my people who can't afford to subscribe or do anything, I put out the most content out of any podcaster or content creator in the game right now. Because y'all know my saying, nobody's left out. Not the freebies, not the $23, not the $3. I'm gonna make sure I take care of everybody. So let's thank, and this is not every VIP member, this is just the recent one. So if your name isn't called, that doesn't mean you're not on the list. Remember, I'm gonna try to do it Friday, but I'll probably do it Friday, a complete roll call. So those who might not hear, who don't hear their name, can hit me up on my DM and say, hey, Flo, I didn't hear my name, and I can make sure you're on there. So anyway, Courtney, thank you for the $23 Diddy VIP membership. It's helping me get my ass to New York. Thank you, Tina Humphrey, for the $23 Diddy VIP subscription. It's helping me get my ass to Mark Curry and do this interview. Courtney Proctor, thank you for the $23 Diddy VIP subscription. It's helping me get my ass to the New York. Thank you, Georgia, for the $3 subscription. Donation means a lot. I'm glad that you took an initiative and helping me out on this journey. You will get exclusive content as well, babe. Mary Cerna, thank you for the $23 Diddy VIP membership. It's going to help get my ass to New York. Emma Clifford, $3 subscription. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to put the subscription link in the chat too as I'm doing this. Tammy, $3 subscription. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Means a lot. You don't know how much it means. Who else? Deborah, Friends, another $3 subscription. Thank you. And I believe that's it. That's everybody for today. Everybody clap it up for all the subscribers making this possible and making this podcast it's a dream come true. And we are also staying self-sufficient, not dependent on corporations, because they would be trying to tell me that I need to watch my language and I can't talk about Diddy so much, and they will want me to lighten it up and, all that type of stuff. So because y'all are subscribing and we are self-sufficient, I'm able to come on here and talk as if y'all at the kitchen table with me and we just discussing things. I'm trying to get this subscription link together for y'all. What the hell is going on, y'all? There we go, copy. Boom, let me throw this in the chat. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to New York. I'm going to New York. Somebody said in the chat, yeah, I thought y'all better know. Of course I'm going to New York. And as a matter of fact, y'all keep subscribing with the $23. I'm going to New York probably about 2-3 times. I'll go at the end of this month. Then I have to go back to Cleveland for my son's graduation on June 2nd. But after my son's graduation, I will take my ass back to New York. So I plan on, especially if y'all continue to subscribe the way y'all are, it's going to help me as far as, helping me fund some of this stuff, which is the whole purpose of it. But I will be there multiple times. I've been just waiting patiently for my son to graduate. To turn 18 so I can get him out the way. And then I'm out. Like I always say, I'm out. I'm going to be like, son, you turned 18. I love you. But I'm out. And I'll be up in New York for real. Yes. Of course I'm going to be in New York. And I have the most explosive interview dropping. Like I told y'all, be prepared. This podcast is about to go to a whole nother level. So we're going to have to be fighting them off. All these trolls, we're going to have to start. We're going to be like the movie 300. Our little mighty little crew, we're going to have millions to argue with. So I'm going to need y'all help. But this Mark Curry interview, I'm telling y'all know I do not exaggerate. The information that he already told me is stuff that nobody has ever heard before. And he was there. And so when I do this interview, the internet is about to break. And I'm just letting y'all know now so we can stick together, because we're going to keep it like this. Y'all know I don't even give a fuck about Hollywood. So I don't care if this podcast becomes the biggest podcast on earth. It's not going to change me, and it ain't going to change us. We're going to continue to be in our little huddle, and we're going to continue to love each other and talk to each other and defend each other and stay in our little bubble that we've been in. I don't have no desire to hobnob with no fake ass celebrities. Now, I ain't saying I won't be cool with the cool ones, but this podcast can be the biggest podcast on earth. And you're going to see, I'm going to be the same person, shirtless, talking shit, and loving my community, because that's who I do it for. I don't care about the outside noise. So I'm just warning y'all, because I haven't even pressed anybody. We've got almost 200,000 downloads, top 5% podcast in 5-6 months, and I ain't even did a fucking interview. So that lets you know two things. For one, I don't give a damn about interviewing nobody or clout chasing, because I could have done a million interviews. A lot of people want me to come on my platform, but I'm picking and choosing. I'm funny acting. But Mark Curry, for one thing, he has a book, and he has another book coming out. He has detailed all of this Kim Porter, what happened to Kim Porter, or the things she went through with Diddy. He was there. He was the first whistleblowers to tell about how the bottles were spiked and how Diddy did this and Diddy did that. So this is going to be a huge interview. I'm just warning y'all so y'all have my back against all these trolls, because our little mighty crew going to have to be battling millions of people in a minute. But I'm ready for it. I ain't never scared. No fear lives here. So on that note, I ain't even let's see before we even get out of here. Let me make sure, because I always forget something and then I'll be pissed off like, oh, I forgot to say that. So another thing worth noting, Diddy was trying to intimidate in the courtroom. See, I'm glad I checked back through my notes. Yeah, I know my crew ready. Look at my girl says says she ready. Yeah, because one thing about me, I don't gaslight, I don't exaggerate. And when I warn y'all, that means it's coming. And so after I do this interview with Mark Curry, this is going to be the biggest interview outside of the actual Diddy trial. It's going to be the biggest interview. Why? Because I am the biggest Diddy coverage person across all platforms. You got some people who big on YouTube, big on here, on TikTok, but I'm one of the only ones who big on every platform. So when it comes to Diddy, they know I'm the number one guy, and that's just what it is. But the interview is going to be crazy, and I'm telling you, the information is crazy. And as much as I think I knew everything, it's stuff that nobody knew. So be prepared. And I'm telling y'all, we're gonna have to watch our back, because this thing about to get big. But I know we ready, and my community is ready, and I ain't worried at all. But anyway, Diddy was trying to intimidate Cassie even in the courtroom, and I'm gonna tell you how and why. See, everybody in the courtroom reported, not everybody, but I got my own sources. I got my correspondent that's in there, and he said apparently Diddy didn't take his eyes off of Cassie one time as she gave that evidence, staring through her soul the entire time. Even to the point when it was time to take a break, his eyes followed her all the way as she walked out of the court. And they say Cassie ignored the shit out of him. Good for her. But when I read that, I see this is a man who still ain't learned his lesson. Because if I'm a juror and I see you staring at her like that, it's one thing to be paying attention, but it's another thing to be locked and staring in. We ain't stupid. We know the difference. And if I'm a juror and I'm sitting there watching this monster who being accused of, I mean, it don't get no worse than this. Especially when you speaking about sexually and demeaning and just devaluing and treating somebody like when they say treat like an object or treat like a piece of meat, like I say, shit, meat get treated better than that. You treat your steak better than Diddy treated Cassie. And so for him to be locked in, it's like more intimidation. And then to the point where she's getting up and she got to have your eyes beating on her body or looking in her head or looking in her or trying to look in her eyes all the way as she walks out the courtroom. Are you okay? Of course you aren't. But I thought that was worth noting because when I looked at it, I said, here's a motherfucker who still ain't learned. He's still trying to intimidate Cassie, even as his ass is locked up. Mr. Itty Bitty Diddy. Tootsie Roll. Ain't nothing else to say. But even when it ain't nothing else to say, I still want to say something. Another thing, y'all, before we get out of here, we got to talk about Justin Bieber. Because ain't nobody talking about Justin Bieber. So guess what that means? Flo got to talk about Justin Bieber because we got a new article that ain't nobody talking about except me, coming from one of my favorite publications, The Mirror. I said, my people been subscribing, and I'm talking about not just the Diddy VIP. I'm talking about all the subscribers. Y'all been subscribing so much. I said, man, I'm about to just sit on this podcast today and I might be on here an hour and a half for my Apple and Spotify family, who are the most special out of the whole podcast family. I have to keep it real because my audio listeners are what started all this podcast mania that's going on with the Flow Show No Filter. It all started with my little audio self on October 30th. So I just want my Apple and Spotify and wherever else of those audio platforms you get it from. I do want to let y'all know y'all are and will always have a special place in my heart because it started with y'all. It started audio. I didn't bring it to video until January, almost February. And my audio listeners just helped blast this off into the stratosphere. And people kept asking me, they wanted me to do video version. And you know, one thing about my fans and listeners and supporters, if y'all ask me something enough, y'all know I'm going to end up doing it. So yeah, that's how I even started doing video, but it all started audio. That's why I always want to let my Spotify and Apple listeners know y'all will always have a special place in my heart because y'all kicked this whole thing off. If y'all didn't support me from October, November, December, the way y'all did, we wouldn't be right here right now. And so with all the extra, subscribers and just people showing love and supporting, I'm just the type of person, you give me 2, I'm going to give you 4. You give me 10, I'm going to give you more. That's just how I am. So y'all subscribing. I just like, you know what? Let me get on this bitch today and let me get a little long-winded just to show my appreciation and show that I'm very serious about what I do. And when I say I love y'all and when I say I got y'all, I'm not just up here talking shit. So this article in the Mirror says Justin Bieber went through hell. This is a brand new article, y'all, too. This ain't no old shit. It said Justin Bieber went through hell during Nightmare Diddy experience as rapper's trial heats up. I say again, you ain't gonna hear this nowhere else. So make sure y'all share this podcast and share this live and YouTube, and make sure y'all liking it and share this to y'all friends so they don't have to be only subjected to this bland, cheesy Diddy coverage going on outside of the Flow Show No Filter. Don't keep me tucked. Let them know and bring them over here so they can get it, so they can get the real what's going on. Because ain't nobody gonna talk about this but me. Because everybody chasing clickbait. So anyway, Justin Bieber reportedly spoke out to friends about his complicated friendship with Sean Diddy Combs before the rapper's trial on sex trafficking charges kicked off. Article goes on to say Justin Bieber went through what was described as a nightmare and private hell during his alleged interactions with Sean Diddy Combs just months before the rapper's trial started. We're not even talking about them 48 hours of Diddy when Diddy said, and he had Justin next to him and he was telling they doing stuff that they can't tell us and all that. And we was like, well, what the hell are you doing with a 15-year-old? Ain't shit you could be doing with a 15-year-old that you can't tell us, you pervert. But anyway, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about months before the trial, he went through hell. And if you remember that video clip of Diddy rolling up on Justin Bieber with him and his little mohawk Diddy's was with him, and he was talking to Justin, and we didn't quite hear everything was said, but he was rubbing Justin's chest as if he was checking for a wire and just being an intimidating bully. And we called that out at that time. But we didn't have any context because Justin Bieber never spoke on it. So we didn't know exactly, but now for the first time, we hearing that he went through nightmare and private hell. I wonder why. Let's continue. The pop sensation opened up to close confidants about the turmoil he faced in connection with Diddy, particularly after the music mogul's arrest. Diddy, while the rapper, as weeks stretched on, Diddy was somewhat harassing Justin. Now, while Justin, let me be clear, while Justin himself has yet to share the details publicly, one source disclosed to In Touch Weekly the detriment this ordeal has brought to the singer, especially given his complex history with Diddy. According to an inside tip, the last thing Justin wants to do is relive or even discuss his complicated friendship with Diddy. Adding, but he's finally breaking his silence to his friends about his nightmare experience and private hell that it caused. Now, as we know, Diddy has been acquainted with Justin since his early days when Justin was like 14. Also, Usher, one of Diddy's proteges, who many believe was groomed by Diddy, also mentored Justin Bieber. And they talked about that one video that we're talking about in 2009, which was a YouTube vlog titled Justin Bieber's 48 Hours with Diddy. This is where the 15-year-old Justin was hanging out with then 40-year-old Diddy. And he said, where we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Knowing what y'all know about Diddy now, God only knows what the hell he was talking about. I'm going to read that again. Diddy said in this vlog, and you can go check the video, I posted it before, where we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. Now, I ask y'all something. I'm asking y'all something. If you had your child somehow your child winded up with a 40-year-old man with, and I know that, y'all like me saying that wouldn't even fucking happen, but let's just, for shits and giggles, let's say somehow they ended up together. Say you knew somebody and whatever. And then Diddy called you on FaceTime and said, what we're doing, is this your 15-year-old child? What we're doing can't really be disclosed. But it's a 15-year-old's dream. That's all I can say. I would be at the fucking on location, on site. And the fuck you mean it can't be disclosed? And you 40 and he 15. Justin, come with me and get away from this freak. But Justin's parents didn't handle it like that. I wish his parents were like my parents. I remember when I got signed to Floyd Mayweather and I moved to Vegas. I remember with my dad to this day. We were having a good time. It was me, Floyd, his family. I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather. And I was 20, and I was like 23, 24, something like that. And my dad, we were, it was funny because we were all having a good time, and my dad just out of nowhere told Floyd and the whole crew, he said, I'm just letting y'all know I love that boy right there. And he was talking about me. And he said, and I'm just letting you know if anything happened to him, I'm gonna come handle one of you motherfuckers, and then I drive my own self to the prison. I was like, sheesh. And everybody kind of just respected it. And then like it was a little like pause, and then we all got back to party. But the message was heard. Now, as my 23-year-old young self, I was like, damn, my dad, I was like, why did he say that? That was kind of like, but now that I'm a grown ass man with a son, I totally understand and get where he coming from, because I've acted a fool and checked people about my son. To this day I will. And if my son went somewhere and he was signed in some artist or something or whatever, y'all, I don't even have to tell y'all what I would say, because y'all know me better than I know myself at this point. Y'all know what I would say. And this is a true story. I remember it like it was yesterday. I couldn't believe my dad said that to Floyd and the rest of the crew. But he sure did. So I wish Justin's parents were like my parents. Now the unearthed videos about that Justin Bieber, when they talking about they just having fun and they couldn't say nothing, they got a documentary. They had a documentary about it called Justin Bieber, The Next Chapter, that came out back in 2020. But in general, the insider revealed that Justin has advised many young stars to reach out to him if they find themselves in a tough situation, adding that he's tried to be upfront about his demons and how he's relied on therapy and his faith to get back on track. Still, it's been hard to have all of this stuff being dredged up, he admitted. The source concluded by saying that while Justin is focusing on his massively supportive wife, Haley, and their newborn son, Jack Blue, if speaking about his past trauma can help others, he probably will. He wants to break the cycle once and for all. Go ahead, Justin. So that's what's going on with Justin Bieber. I'm sure y'all didn't hear that nowhere else, and y'all probably won't. But that's why y'all tune in to the Flow Show No Filter. And I appreciate that. So on that note, ain't nothing else to say but bye. As always, I love y'all, but I'm Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. Another one, and another one, and another one bites the dust. Boom. Now what we doing now? We about to get Apple and Spotify loaded up. We about to get Apple and Spotify loaded up and kick it around for a second. Any questions, any comments, go ahead and shoot. I'm happy to answer any questions y'all have. Y'all know how it go. Y'all know the routine. So ask away. I'm here for you. All right, y'all. 1 second to get it loaded up. How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? Shout out to the breakfast crew, everybody in the building. As we getting this loaded up, I got work to do. So I see y'all was cracking up in the comments. I'm in rare form today. Breathe, April, Steph, L, C Tuck, Toby, what up? Butterfly, Max. There's so many of y'all. I can't get to April, Lucy, Breathe. April, hey, much love. 15 cent. Mimi. Hey, Mimi. Sybil, Patricia. Everybody, thank you to everybody for joining me for another episode. Thank you, Jack. Jack says, just found your channel. Great commentary. I appreciate you. Yeah, kids don't know how good they have it now, right? I had to tell them, look, we had to look up an encyclopedia. It'd take you 2 hours to find a damn answer. It's God's plan. It's definitely God's plan. It's definitely God's plan. God's plan. Thank you. Butterfly says, finally, a real man with the real word. Thank you. God morning. Flo Daddy, Flo, and chat. Thank you. Yeah, I will step up and call all their asses out. I like I said, what I say, I cook them 5 at a time like a wing dinner. Come on with it. Flo's Kitchen is open 24/7. And my people said, anywhere I go, y'all going with me. I appreciate y'all. I got to get to work. Much love. Share this, like this. Let everybody know where the #1 podcast, the #1 Diddy coverage is right here. You ain't going to get this anywhere else. I love y'all, but I'm out.